global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. We actually have a trending news for you, and this is actually Analyst looking at Nigerian economy and actually saying from all indices, Nigeria's future, or the country Nigeria's future, is very bleak. I do not know how true this is, but let's look at the facts. What were their results? What were the things they saw that made them say that Nigeria may not come out of this, and they're actually at the brink of collapse? Now, according to analysts at Restart Energy, the global uphill, which has resulted in oil price crash, upending the current fragile balance of power, because key oil producing countries, including like Iraq and Nigeria, can't buy their way out. Especially this crisis, it's really amazing. So they said even with Brent at $25, indeed, even when it fell below $20, they said that Nigeria here, with oil, where oil is about 9% of their GDP and 90% of exports, and with a break-even price of around $57 per barrel, and also a fiscal break-even of around $100, the economy is in very serious trouble. If the economy is in trouble, the Restart Energy analyst said the government is even in a bigger trouble, as roughly 20 million Nigerians are unemployed, and that is now expected to climb another 25%. It's enough to bring down a government, with the only lifeline now, which is the $3.4 billion IMF emergency loan just approved. But making matters worse is the fact that no one even wants to touch Nigerian oil right now, because there isn't enough demand for it, even at $10 per barrel, and is even competing with overproduced U.S. crude, that's the light and very low in sulfur oil produce. Already the federal government have already reviewed plans to cut the oil price benchmark for the current budget, which is about $20 per barrel. The development will make it the second time the government is slashing the oil benchmark for the 2020 budget. The sharp fall in the price of crude oil had earlier forced the government to slash the benchmark from $57 per barrel to $30 per barrel. The Minister of Finance and Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, disclosed the federal government's intention to further slash the benchmark. Ahmed, who spoke during a web conference which focused on the impact of low oil prices on Nigeria's economy, he said that we are in the process of an amendment that is bringing down the revenue indicator to $20 per barrel. The decline in the revenue following the sharp fall in the price of crude oil is already taking a toll on Nigeria's economy, and Ahmed had in March disclosed that the 10.59 trillion naira budget will be slashed by 15%. The minister at web conference also said Nigeria's oil and gas products and projects will be delivered later than originally planned as a result of the upstream budget cuts. The federal government is planning to cut oil production to 1.7 million barrels per day from the 2.1 million barrels per day proposed in the 2020 budget. The planned production cost is to be made in line with an agreement reached by the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries and its allies, better known as OPEC. Wow. Now, you know what that also means is that those working in oil and gas may likely be low in production, and they may likely also be looking at, if not a pay cut, they may be looking at a situation where there may be retrenchment. People may likely lose their jobs. Already in the banking sector, you are beginning to see the impact. 1,500 staff of one of the prominent banks was actually sacked. Although CBN came in, the Central Bank of Nigeria came in to intervene and insisted that there should be no more sacks going on, being the fact that the economy is trying to, get back itself. But, let's be truthful to ourselves. The banking sector is basically a private-owned sector. So you cannot tell those who are trying to they're not, they are not actually a charity organization. They're not a non-profit making organization. They're there for the profits. So if they realize that their profit margin is so low, obviously because of the economy of Nigeria, they will slash down not just their salaries, but they will also lay off staff. And that means also that the economy of Nigeria, the already overfilled unemployment market, is going to go really high, coupled with all the insecurity, insurgents everywhere. Well, this may be the height of it all. Before now, we've always been having issues and series of issues concerning the issue of diversifying the economy. But looked as if, can oil ever dry? People looked at it from perspective of, we have enough oil wells, it can't possibly go down, it can't go dry, we keep discovering oils here and there, so hey, let's keep at what we do. But it looks like this whole issue of oil and crude oil may be our own doing, obviously. With where things are going, don't forget that yes, this is pandemic period, this is COVID-19 period, no one is touching our oil, no one is even coming close, which means other countries of the world are finding a way around the issue of oil and the uses of oil derivatives, petroleum oil derivatives, which means that other countries are beginning to find way around it. Maybe we're looking at even the issue of solar, and that means also that Nigeria needs to move on and move very fast too. I wonder what kept us from diversifying all along. Must we wait till we hit this hard? Okay, now oil and gas is now something that we are looking at in a different perspective. What about the issue of agriculture? Okay, agriculture has been there a time for time immemorial. We didn't really harness it. I could still remember very vividly that issue of Singapore. Singapore basically is a country that has no much resources, but I think sometime in the 80s, they came down, they saw the oil palm in Nigeria, they liked it, they looked at it, they had to come and check the sand, the soil with which we used to plant the oil palm. They came for a conference here in Nigeria, they took the oil palm, it didn't work, as in it didn't grow. They had to they did a lot of chemical permutations, they found out that maybe they didn't get the right chemicals the chemical component of the soil that will make it thrive well. They had to take some part of our sand, our soil, and did their chemical analysis and got the right combination to make the oil palm grow. As we speak, Singapore exports oil, and they got it from Nigeria. Is that appalling that our leaders are not proactive? We are almost reactive. Must we get to this point where it looks as if our future is bleak? That we begin to there's so many things we're battling right now. Insurgents is there, insecurity is there, the issue of borrowing here and there is there, the issue of no jobs, food. We're supposed to, they call Benue the food basket of the nation, but insurgent Fulani husband don't even allow them to go to the farmland to farm to produce the so-called food by right, in as much as you're in Nigeria, or in as much as you're in Nigeria, and the part where you're in Nigeria is so blessed that even if your part is where you're staying in, it has soil, even if it doesn't produce right, at least can produce maize. Okay, in as much as there's Department of Agriculture, or there's agriculture faculty or Department of Agriculture in that state, then farming should be allowed. That's how wonderful Nigeria is blessed. But obviously, our leaders are lost in thought on what to do about our resources. Now, a country so blessed, so rich in human and natural resources. We have gold, we have zinc, we have mineral resources, we have even tourism. Yes, we have like in Cross River State, in Abokum, somewhere in Boki. Is it Boki? No, even there's Boki. Boki has another natural resources that you see. Animals like elephants, yes, rare animals come into Boki Forest. And now we also look at the issue of now we also look at in another local government called Ikom in Cross River State. They have what we call Abokum waterfalls. That waterfalls is natural spring. It's another tourism of its own. In the same Cross River State, we also look at Obudu Cattle Ranch. That is a place where snow falls. Yes, I've been there once in my lifetime. Raw snow falls during they experience winter, in Obodukato Ranch. Yes, and that's one of the longest cable network in Nigeria, probably even the whole Africa. What have we done with it? Nothing. It's as good as dead. These are tourism. Is that not the same thing that Dubai does? Dubai is strictly a tourist country. They harness back millions and billions of dollars for themselves as a country. Cross River State is blessed. How many of them harness? Very little. Okay, yes, every once in a year during December they have this street party, but they can do much more. Nigeria is blessed. Should you go to the Zuma Rock? Should you go to the Yankari reserves? We have it all. Why have we not harnessed them so much that we're exporting them? Why have we waited thus far? Cash crops, are we looking at cocoa plantation? We have it in Africa, we have it in Nigeria. Why are we so hell-bent, so totally dependent on crude oil? So much that even foreign analysts are looking at Nigeria as they are going to dissolve. But that's how much we can take. It's up to the federal government to look inward and begin to harness what they have. We need to move forward and need to do it very fast. We need to begin to look at the strength of each state and begin to build them in that line so that we have comparative advantage over and begin to work very fast over them. Release funds where necessary and let's stop this lutomania thing we're doing that is keeping our country in a level where we can't even think we should be. But that's how much we can take. Let's go to our comment section. Don't also forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. What do you think about this analysis? Do you think Nigeria have the capacity with the right leadership to steer the ship aright and take us out of this bleak future and take us to one of the giants of Africa truly economically? Or do you really think that before 2023 Nigeria will be gone economically? Let's meet in our comment section. Let's interact. Have a nice time. Stay tuned for more updates.